Hello and welcome to the first race of the new 2021 season of the Player One Podcast Gran Turismo Sport Racing League. We're starting things off this season with an endurance race at Circuit de la Sarthe, home of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where there are a few points up for grabs, but mainly we're here to set the grid for the first actual race of the regular season. Let's take a quick look at the starting grid and then head down to the track. And it looks like we've already seen our first retirement. SpoonyBard seems to have disconnected as we get ready for the start here. angryPanda out front. He's one of the new drivers this season. All the new drivers starting up front, and the rest of the field lined up in the reverse order of their finishing position in last year's championship. Panda doesn't get a great start. He's already down to fourth. In the background, we see Gokie and Compeau coming together as they head into the first chicane. Gokie comes out in fifth place, passing Enchy. As they come down the hill in the S is going on towards the Mulsanne Straight, we see Panda has now fallen into fourth behind two of the Mercedes-Benz. Ken's pulled out into a lead. Coming around, we see Gokie and Enchy go way wide in Tetra Rouge, while the Nissan of Panda is trying to pass one of those Mercedes. Now there's a big crowd in behind Gokie and Enchy. There's Lactose on the outside, Stewy on the inside, Compeau coming up in the other Subaru. All five cars going for the same spot down the first long section of the Mulsanne Straight, heading towards the PlayStation chicane. Looks like Gokie's going to have the lead with Enchy right behind. Stewy seems to have backed out of it. Same with Lactose. And Compeau gets hit from behind, goes sliding through there. Enchy's ghosting as well. Stewy comes out right behind Gokie. As we come down the second part of the Mulsanne Straight, we have Gokie, Stewy, followed by Enchy up front. Ken's got quite a lead. angryPanda trying to fight with those two Mercedes, but they seem to be drafting. They're trying to keep him behind. Successfully so as they head into the Michelin chicane. Juanster gets a bit of a lead over his teammate, Jedi, while Panda falls in behind. Top four now spreading out a little bit. In behind, Stewy trying to keep up with Gokie as the rest of the field starts to string out as well. Gokie weaving a little bit, trying to break that draft. The draft is super powerful on this track. As they head down into Mulsanne. Stewy tries to break late, goes below Gokie. There's a bit of contact there, and Stewy comes out in front. Gokie now in sixth place. Enchy and Compeau right behind him. We've got another long straightaway down towards Indianapolis. Gokie using that draft, trying to catch back up, get down to Stewy's rear bumper. Pulls out. And it looks like he is now, he's completed the pass to fifth place. Stewy's still on his quarter panel, heading in Indianapolis. Stewy breaks late on the inside again. Gokie pulls in, tries to pass him, and gets hit from behind by Compeau. Compeau and Gokie, of course, previously teammates and ran into each other a lot last year. Compeau now getting around Gokie, kind of trading a lot of paint here as they come into Varnage, which lets Stewy put some distance on the rest of the crew as he now tries to chase down the top four. Stewy, of course, last year's champion with 2 wins and 9 podiums, part of Team Subaru, who was also the championship team last season. There's Ken up front, one of the other new drivers, Team Honda, and it looks like Juanster and Jedi are starting to reel him in. Like I was saying before, yes, Team Subaru, last year's championship winning team. Stewy was the champion last year. 2 wins, 9 podiums. Back here in 10th right now is the other member of Team Subaru from last season, also returning, CancerCowboy. He tied for the most pole positions last season with 4, had 1 win and 5 podiums. So we come around to complete the first lap of the race. And there's Compeau. He's the newest member of Team Subaru. Previously, Team McLaren, which broke up. He's running 6th right now. No wins last season, but he had 5 podiums on the year. Coming back down now towards the Mulsanne straight again. Go through the second lap. Juanster and GSRJedi have settled in 2nd and 3rd, with Panda still trying to chase them down and get back into the front after losing pole position on the first turn. Jedi making a move now, and that slows down Juanster just enough to give Panda a sniff, but it looks like the Mercedes are going to draft again down the straight. Panda's ahead of both of them at the moment, but not far enough ahead to pull in, although he does give it a shot. And now the Mercedes are breaking up a little bit, but it looks like Juanster's going to tuck back in behind his teammate and probably beat him into the chicane. Yes, both Mercedes beat into the chicane, and actually Juanster makes his way to 2nd place. Ken's still sitting out front with a decent lead. Lactose still trying to fight for a position back here in 9th place. Bit of a battle pack down here from 6th to 10th. Compeau taking a look on the outside of Gokie. Again, the two of them trading paint down the long straightaway as they head toward the Michelin chicane. Compeau now ahead. Mook right on Gokie's tail, and here's the top 4 again. It looks like Jedi and Juanster fighting for 2nd place. Panda taking advantage of the broken momentum again to try to make that pass up into 3rd as they head down toward the Mulsanne corner. And it looks like he might keep it. And there, of course, is Ken out front. Oh, Ken overcooks a little bit out of Mulsanne, doesn't hit the wall, manages to hang on to it, but that's going to let the next 3 cars really catch up to him. And here's Cowboy going into Mulsanne as well, trying to catch up and make a pass on Lactose. And he does the exact same thing, except he ends up hitting the wall. Back up front, now Jedi all over the back of Ken. And Panda right there with him. Jedi takes the lead. Juanster back and forth. Kind of lost touch as they all head into Indianapolis. And Juanster, ooh, he outbroke himself that way. Ended up hitting Ken. Now Ken goes from 1st to 4th in the space of 2 turns. Here's Mook. And of course, Mook, previously part of Team Hyundai, now Team Mercedes-Benz, or as they call themselves, Team Discovery Channel. You'll see the 3 Mercedes look exactly the same. Mook and Juanster were both part of the same team last year. Mook was last season's runner-up with 4 poles, 5 wins, and 8 podiums. There's Juanster, who is also the other member of Team Hyundai, who is now part of Team Mercedes-Benz. 2 wins and 4 podiums last year. With their newest teammate out front right now, GSRJedi, who was from the disbanded Team Mitsubishi. He only ran a partial schedule last season, but managed to pick up a podium. So we come around to complete our 2nd of 10 laps. This race, of course, is an endurance race, which means everyone's going to need to stop for fuel at least twice, and may or may not put tires on as well. And it looks like Lactose is actually going to be our first car pitting from 8th position here on the 2nd lap. Mook now going for 7th place as he passes Gokie heading into the Dunlop chicane. Nice clean pass for the most part. A little bit of contact there, but that's a really tight spot on the track. Meanwhile, Stewy has caught up to Juanster. Let's come around Tetra Rouge. Stewy has the inside line, heading down the Mulsanne straight, but that Mercedes-Benz has a lot of power, and he's got a nice draft there. Meanwhile, Panda trying to take that lead back after losing it on the first corner. Looks like he has it for now. But again, the draft is very strong here as they head down to the PlayStation chicane. It looks like GSRJedi is going to go to the inside and take a look. Juanster doing the same thing to Stewy a couple cars back. Juanster makes it in the chicane ahead of him, takes fourth back. And we've got two distinct groups now. Top 5 running by themselves and the rest of the field a little bit behind. Stewy tucks in for the draft here. Gokie now sitting in 8th place, right behind Mook and Compeau. This little battle pack has stayed together for the main part of the race. Starting to break up a little bit now that Lactose was the first to peel off for a pit stop. Gokie pulls out now, tries to make his way around Mook. I don't know how well he's going to... Actually, that Honda must have a lot of power because he manages to pass both cars, even though they're drafting, into the Michelin chicane. Well, he doesn't quite complete the pass on Compeau. Compeau pushes him aside a little bit. Mook ends up the loser on that one. Jedi going for the lead again into Mulsanne, but thinks better of it. Panda hangs on to it, although it goes a little bit wide, and Jedi gets the pass. Compeau and Gokie going into Mulsanne. Side by side, it looks like Gokie might come out in the lead here, but again, we got a little bit of contact. Jedi and Panda still fighting for that lead. Panda now has it as they head into Indianapolis. Meanwhile, Stewy and Juanster fighting for 4th place as they head into Indianapolis. Juanster goes way wide. He's going in there really hot. Fires it up, and massive oversteer, and Juanster is around Stewy now in sole possession to 4th place. We'll see if Juanster can get going before the group behind him catches him. There is Compeau and Gokie now going through the turn right after Indianapolis, and it looks like they can just see Juanster up the road there a little ways. And again, side by side, as they fight over 6th place, heading up into the Porsche curves. They're actually not bouncing off one another this time. Yet. Mook watching. Gokie keeps his foot to the floor and gets through, and here's Jedi again following Panda through towards the final chicanes to finish the 3rd lap, but he's actually going to peel off for his first pit stop. Stewy coming around in 4th place. Also looks like he's coming off for his first pit stop. Waits a long time to brake, though, and he way overshot the entrance to pits, and now he's going to get a 1.5 second penalty for hitting that wall, as well as how much time it took to get the car going. Again, there's his teammate Compeau also pulling in for his first pit stop. He doesn't hit the wall. So, a reminder as well that normally these races pay points all the way down to 10th place, but where this is an exhibition race to begin the season, there's a few points on hand, but not a lot. 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third, and basically what this is going to do is set the starting order, the reverse grid for the first real race of the season. So the tire change is done on Compeau's car. There's his Subaru teammate, CancerCowboy, still out on the track in 6th place, so now it looks like the top 6 cars have yet to pit as we start the 4th lap. CancerCowboy just coming through the Dunlop chicane. And through Tetra Rouge. Onto that long back straightaway. GSRJedi, of course, has pitted already. Trying to use the benefit of those fresher tires to drag race Cowboy down towards the PlayStation chicane. Take 6th place away. See Gokie right ahead of them. And there's Lactose and I believe Stewy in the distance. Both cars have also already pitted. Nice job by CancerCowboy to hold on to that position, but Jedi staying beside him through that chicane and actually comes out ahead. And while we're going through our first round of pit stops, let's talk about Team Honda. Gokie, previously a member of the McLaren team from last season, and that has broken up. Gokie had 2 wins, 9 podiums last season to finish 3rd in the points. Has a couple of teammates not actually in the race. SpoonyBard, who disconnected at the beginning, and also Saito Halifax, both members of Team Honda. Gokie running by himself. Or actually, now we're up to Ken. I'm sorry. And this is Ken, who is the newest member of Team Honda. Didn't race with us last season. Running 2nd right now behind angryPanda. Has not pitted yet either. A little bit of penalty time there. Probably after that hit. There's CancerCowboy. Coming through Anaj, I believe. Or no, that was Mulsanne, I'm sorry. Trying to keep up with GSRJedi on those fresh tires as Lactose and Stewy trying to chase these 2 down. Cowboy makes that pass up into 6th place. Jedi staying right on his rear bumper. Lactose definitely gaining. Stewy back there with that big penalty he's got to deal with from hitting the wall going into the pits as they all head in Indianapolis. And Stewy makes a pass from way back. A lot of ghosting happening there, and that has to do with the penalty time that each car has. Stewy now up into 8th place. And here's angryPanda out in front all by himself, coming through the Porsche curves. Heading down to where we'll see if he pits this time. One of the top 6 cars here who hasn't pitted. And yes, the leader peels off for his first pit stop of the race. And should probably be followed by the rest of the lead pack. Here comes Ken, who's also pitting. You can see there that Panda was almost out of gas. All these guys will be almost out of fuel. Juanster currently running 3rd. And he peels off as well. Mook pitting from 4th. And here's CancerCowboy and Gokie both pitting. And with that, I believe all 10 of the 11 drivers have pitted. There's Enchy, who is the running 11th right now, who's going to be the only car that hasn't pitted yet. So he's coming through the curves as well, heading out towards the Ford chicanes. That beautiful paint job on the Nissan. And of course, Enchy is a returning member of Team Nissan. And with that, the entire field has pitted. Enchy here getting some new rubber. Looks like he has a few run-ins with other cars over the wall. Speaking of Team Nissan, out front, way out front right now is angryPanda. Well, actually, he's got a lot of the field behind him now. angryPanda, also a newcomer to the series and a newcomer to Team Nissan. And I know it says angryPanado, but I'm saying Panda. GSRJedi and Stewy chasing him. And there's Lactose, who's also a returning member of Team Nissan from last season. One of the most successful drivers last season with 3 poles, 4 wins, and 7 podiums, currently running 4th. He's actually made a lot of gains here on pit stops because I believe when he pitted he was running 8th. And now that the whole field is shaken out from their first round, now running 4th and chasing down 2nd and 3rd. With Ken right behind him, Ken also making a decent comeback from that hit early on. I believe that takes care of all of the different teams. As Lactose pulls out, passes Stewy, and then passes Jedi to go from 4th to 2nd between the PlayStation and Michelin chicanes. Ken catching up with the group as well, and while Panda's pretty decent lead there, it looks like 2nd through 5th, while they're all fighting for those final 3 points. Even though we're not quite halfway in this race. Expect to have a 2nd pit stop for everybody again, at least for fuel, maybe not necessarily tires, as Stewy takes a look to the inside as they hit into the Mulsanne. To the inside of Jedi, Jedi goes a little bit wide. Stewy comes out in third place and now tries to chase down Lactose, those two Nissans in front of him. We also have team championships running, and of course, well, the teams all have different amounts of cars, or a lot of them have different amounts of cars. The way that's going to work this season is that the top 2 scoring cars from each team in each race, their points will count toward the team championship. So right now, we've got Nissan in first and second place, which would be the most points any team could take away from this race. We've got that one Subaru there, followed by a Mercedes-Benz and a Honda, so all of the teams represented in the top 5. Stewy now on the back bumper of Lactose as they come through Arnage. Panda off in the distance. It doesn't look like you're catching him. Maybe these two can draft and work together to catch that awesome Simpsons liveried Nissan out front. Coming up through Maison Blanche here is Panda into the Ford chicanes, about to start the second half of the race. Ken looking for a way around the Mercedes-Benz GSRJedi into the Ford chicane. Makes a nice pass through there. Sets his sights on that Subaru up ahead. Ken, of course, led the first couple laps of the race. Stewy, meanwhile, taking a sniff to the inside of that Nissan, right on the rear bumper now as they head up toward the Dunlop curve and into the first chicane to start the second half of this race, starting lap 6. Stewy brakes late. Looks like he might have it, and it looks like the ghosting was everyone's friend in that case. A lot of cars in the exact same position on that track. And because of that pass, that slowed them up enough that Ken is now all over the rear bumper of that Nissan. Stewy trying to create a gap there as they head into Tetra Rouge, because he knows that as they go down that long Mulsanne straight, he's at a major disadvantage with the huge hole that Subaru is punching in the air for the Nissan to catch up and pass him. Lactose has caught him, taking a look on the inside, and already has passed him before they're even halfway down towards the PlayStation chicane. Pulls back out to take the right line through the chicane. There's Ken back there, catching up as well. And, Jedi overcooks it into the turn, takes Ken with him, and now Ken is back in a distant 5th place. Back a little deeper in the field, we've got Compeau chasing down Juanster for 6th. As you see Ken off in the distance there, Compeau pulls out to make a pass down towards Michelin. Thinks better of it, gets back into that draft. Mook in the background there. And is he going to attempt to pass? No, actually he hits the rear bumper of Juanster. Juanster going way wide, stays in front. Compeau has a lot more momentum coming out of Michelin, though. Head down towards the Mulsanne corner. Stewy again caught up to Lactose here. Now they've created a bit of separation. 2nd and 3rd place now running pretty much nose to tail. GSRJedi has lost contact with these two. Can hear Panda going by in the foreground. Stewy taking a look as they head into Indianapolis. He's made a couple passes here on Lactose, and he makes another one. Takes over 2nd place. Lactose drops in behind as they head up to Arnage. Here's Juanster and Compeau heading into Indianapolis, and Compeau gives Juanster a little bit of a hit there. Juanster hang on. It looks like Compeau actually went into Indianapolis a little bit hot, and now Juanster going the inside of Arnage, but we go back to second and third as Lactose is taking a look around the outside of Stewy's Subaru. He takes second place back as they head into the Porsche curves. Jedi back and forth, kind of running by himself at the moment. Goes way wide out into the gravel. And here comes Ken right behind him. Ken now takes over fourth place. Here comes Juanster up behind his teammate. And looks like he's going to complete the pass as well. Compeau's going to come through. A little bit of a bodywork bang there. Compeau's still all over there. And he gives Juanster a shot. And here comes Lactose in for his second and presumably final stop of the race as our leader starts lap 7. Compeau up into 5th, also making his second stop. Which puts Ken up into 3rd place right now. So the running order, at the beginning of lap 7, we've got angryPanda out first, Stewy in 2nd, Ken in 3rd, Juanster 4th, Jedi 5th, Mook 6th. We've actually got the 3 Team Discovery Channel Mercedes-Benz running nose to tail here. None of these cars have made their second stop yet. Great livery, which I believe was designed by Juanster. I think they like the Simpsons. A lot of Simpsons cars in the field this season. 3 of them look exactly the same, though. As they come around Tetra Rouge and start the long drag down the Mulsanne Straight toward the first chicane. Lactose back on the track now is rejoined behind CancerCowboy, now in 9th spot. Compeau in 10th behind him. Coming up onto the rear bumper of the Subaru of CancerCowboy. See if he can use that draft to his advantage. Pulls out. And an easy, well, maybe not as easy as it looks. Hard to tell from this angle. And I believe he's cleared him. He has. Cowboy tucks him behind for the draft. Actually takes a look to the inside as they head into the PlayStation chicane. See Gokie just up ahead. Panda still running in first place. Coming around the curve before Mulsanne. Here comes Stewy running in second place. The Honda of Ken B running third. And then the 3 Mercedes-Benz of Juanster, Jedi, and Mook running 4th, 5th, and 6th. Running in formation at this point. Maybe hoping they can catch up to that Honda. These cars sound wonderful as they get up to speed. Juanster with a nice recovery here after having a problem at Indianapolis early on in the race. Cancer still trying to chase down Lactose. Of course, Cancer still has to make his second and final stop. Takes a look on the inside. And takes the position back for now as they head into Indianapolis again. Lactose not going to fight. Makes sense. He's already made his stop. He knows he'll get that position back eventually. We've got Enchy heading into Mulsanne as well. Goes in a little hot and way out into the gravel. Gets reset. Stewy now running second as he comes around towards pit lane. Coming to 3 laps to go here. And he does pit. Let's see if he can do it without hitting the wall this time. Still has a little bit of time, penalty time left to get rid of. And here comes third place Ken as well. Fourth place Juanster, making his second and final stop. Mook from 6th. Gokie from 7th. So we've got a few drivers waiting until lap 8 to make their final stops. So right now it looks like the top 3, Panda, Jedi, and Cowboy, have not made their second stops yet as they start the 8th lap of the race. This should be the final stop for all these cars in here now. Panda now has a massive lead as Stewy and Ken were the only two that could even really see him before they pitted. You can see he's almost down to the PlayStation chicane, and second place GSRJedi is just now coming through Tetra Rouge. In the meantime, all these other drivers have come out together. You've got Cowboy in 3rd, Lactose in 4th, Ken in 5th, Stewy in 6th, and it looks like we're going to have quite a drag race down here between the Subaru, the Nissan, and the Honda. Ken trying to barge his way past Lactose, and now he's also up in front of CancerCowboy. Of course, Cowboy running on older rubber at this point. Probably doesn't have the grip he needs to get off that turn. Here's Stewy trying to draft with the Nissan of Lactose. Meanwhile, Ken pulling away. Stewy trying to get in there, taking a look on the inside, thinking about going 3 wide. He makes it past Lactose as well into PlayStation and tries to settle in behind that Honda, the Red Bull Honda of Ken. You can see Cowboy starting to drop back a little bit there already. Like I said, he does not have the grip that these 3 cars do because he hasn't made his second stop yet. But the question is, can these 3 go fast enough to catch Panda, who still has to make 1 more pit stop? Stewy now looking to the outside of Ken as they head into Michelin. Doesn't complete the pass though. Ken flashing his lights for the crowd. Oh, and I'm sorry, I should have mentioned GSRJedi is still out there as well. He's running 2nd. These 3 are effectively running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but we have Jedi who hasn't pitted yet as well. 1st, 2nd, and 6th haven't made their final stops yet. Ken goes through Malsan. Stewy right behind him. Lactose bringing up behind there. Cowboy hanging on to this crew. Pretty much evenly separated at this point. That draft will close them all up here as they get to Indianapolis. You can see Jedi just in the distance. Stewy pulls out, tries to make the pass in for 3rd. He completes the pass, gets in front of Ken as they head into Indianapolis. Ken's got a tank slapper going on. He's left and right, and he slides right off Indianapolis and into the wall. So after making a spectacular recovery from his earlier slide and then collision early in the race after he was leading, he's again back down to 6th place after sliding the wrong way into Indianapolis. And we've got Panda here who's, yes, he's pitting now as he's just about to come around to start lap 9. He goes into the pits. See if we can get a nice look at this livery while he gets some new rubber. Clearly sponsored by Duff. Can't get enough of that wonderful stuff. I think that's what the tagline was. Jedi finally coming around. This is the kind of lead that Panda had. Jedi's just getting to the pit entrance, and he's also making his final stop. And it looks like... Oh, and there's CancerCowboy coming in from 5th place or 6th place. I'm not sure. Juanster coming through the Ford chicane. He's got Mook right behind him. And after everything shakes out, Panda comes back out onto the track with a healthy lead with 2 laps to go. Stewy and Lactose back in second. Ken running fourth right now. I don't know if Ken pitted. Well, he didn't have to pit. He already made his second pit stop. I'm sorry. Here's Compeau. Oh, overshooting the Dunlop chicane there a little bit. Might get a penalty for that. Stewy and Lactose now running second and third. Remember, points only paid back to third place here. 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third. Stewy trying to make sure that the Nissans don't pick up first and second place points here. Can be off in the distance in fourth. As Lactose does what he's been doing all race. Pulls out, makes a pass down the first part of the Mulsanne straight. Gets out into the dirty pavement there as he gets ready to take the PlayStation chicane. Stewy on his bumper. And here Compeau and Mook, 6th and 7th, coming through the same part in the track. And Compeau breaks really late and goes by Mook. Kind of stays on the track. Stewy has picked up another penalty somewhere. He'll need to get rid of that before the end of the race if he wants to finish ahead of Lactose, or he'll have to beat Lactose by over a second. As he makes the pass down into the Michelin chicane. Mook and Compeau, meanwhile, nose to tail again. Mook's gotten back around Compeau after that move into the PlayStation chicane, and Compeau hits Mook. But it looks like Mook's going to stay ahead. No, Compeau has got the momentum to go around him. A little bit of contact there as well. As the two drag down to the Mulsanne corner. And Mook's back in front one more time. Back to this little battle pack where we've got GSRJedi, Gokie, and Cancer all fighting for 8th, 9th, and 10th place. Gokie looking to make a move on the inside of Mulsanne. But doesn't he does complete it. Looks like both of them actually went wide, and now Cancer might be past both. He's up in 8th place. Ken trying to catch up to Juanster here in 4th place. Juanster a little sideways through Indianapolis, but he hangs on to it. Ken's had an eventful race. Down here in 5th place after a couple of wrecks, and he goes wide now. Loses ground there coming out of Arnage. Sees Juanster drive away. Meanwhile, angryPanda coming through. Looks like the Maison Blanche heading down toward the Ford chicane to end the 9th lap and start the final lap of this race. Here we are back with Ken trying to gain that ground he just lost. Car's ghosting now, and it looks like this is what it usually looks like when someone disconnects in Gran Turismo Sport, and there it is. It looks like Ken is retiring from this race after running in first for so long. He did have a good race, but also has a good point. There are no points being awarded past 3rd place, and with 1 lap to go, it's very unlikely he was going to get up in that top 3 as angryPanda begins the final lap heading into the Dunlop curve up into the chicane. With a massive lead, it looks like 2nd and 3rd right now. Lactose and Stewy are just starting the final lap. Here they come now to cross the start-finish line to start lap 10. Lactose in 2nd, Stewy in 3rd. That's as far back as the points go. And we've got Juanster. Actually looks like he's catching these guys. Up into the Dunlop chicane. One last time. Nice and tidy through there. Stewy gaining a little bit of ground, takes a look to the outside, but it doesn't look like there's much that he can do there right now as they head down toward Tête Rouge. Stewy has a bit more penalty time there, 0.3 seconds, and if he finishes the race with that much time on the clock, it will be rounded up to the next second, so that's essentially a 1-second penalty. As they head into the Mulsanne straight for the final time. Looks like we're going to watch these two as Panda is way out in front. He actually looks like from the mini-map up there, looks like he's just going through the PlayStation chicane right now. Stewy trying to use that draft to catch back up to that Nissan. It looks like it's working. Juanster looking for a draft back there in the distance as they head into the chicane for the last time. Stewy slows way down and bleeds all that penalty time off, which is a good idea, but will he be able to catch back up to that Nissan before the end of the race? He goes a little bit squirrely coming out of the chicane there, and Juanster actually has 2.1 seconds of penalty time as he's trying to catch these other two. Stewy pretty far back now. Lactose looking pretty comfortable as he heads into Michelin. It actually looks like Juanster is closer to Stewy than Stewy is to Lactose at this point. As he goes through Michelin, Stewy going a little bit wide there as Panda goes through Mulsanne for the last time with a very comfortable lead. Stewy trying to gain ground. It looks like he might be gaining a little bit here as they come over the rise through the last part of the Mulsanne straight into the curve, looking for the turn. Big braking zone here, and it looks like Stewy is on his bumper one more time for the final third of the final lap. No penalty time between them. Fighting for those 2 points. Stewy moves to the right. And it's a drag race, and he does manage to get in front, though I don't know if he's cleared him. No, Lactose back in front, Stewy back in front again. Breaks a little bit deeper to Indianapolis. Goes around there, and Juanster is now on Lactose, but he's gone way wide, and it looks like he's lost his chance to get up into that top three. Let's go through Arnage for the final time. Lactose not giving up. Looks like Stewy got a bit better run out of there, and we're back to see Mook and Compeau still fighting over 5th place. Oh, nice chop. Of course, Compeau with 2.7 seconds of penalty time as he heads into the final third of the last lap. Mook right on his bumper. Right now it looks like he would drop at least 2 places if he were to finish with that much penalty time, as his teammate CancerCowboy is back there in 7th place. But I don't think Mook's giving up anyway. And here goes Panda through the 4th chicane, coming down to the final chicane before the end of the race, and Panda is going to pick up the win of the first race of the season. 3 points towards the championship, 3 points for Nissan. What an amazing run. When he got out front, he just never looked back. And here comes Stewy. There's a bit of separation between 2nd and 3rd now, so Stewy just has to keep it together through the last 2 chicanes to pick up 2 points for himself and for his team. There's Stewy 2nd, Lactose finishing 3rd, and Juanster coming in 4th, just outside the points. Nice recovery by Juanster. He had a couple issues through the race. Here comes Mook, another Team Discovery channel, and it looks like Compeau and Cancer are now fighting each other. The 2 Subarus fighting for position here, and Compeau backs way off to get rid of that penalty time. So we've got Mook finishing 5th, Cancer finishing 6th, Compeau 7th, Gokie 8th, GSRJedi 9th, and Enchy still out there trying to come around in 10th. Of course, we had SpoonyBard retire before the race even began, and we had Ken retiring with a couple laps to go, as Enchy still coming around. Whoa, it looks like he lost it there, but what a masterful drive by newcomer angryPanado in that Nissan. 2nd place, Stewy. 3rd place, Lactose. 4th, Juanster. 5th, Mook. 6th, CancerCowboy. 7th, Compeau. 8th, Gokie. A good opening round. So now, that means that Panda is leading the championship with 3 points. Stewy in 2nd place with 2 points. Lactose in 3rd with 1 point. And as far as the Manufacturers' Championship goes, we've got Nissan leading with 4 points and Team Subaru in 2nd with 2 points. No other team have any points yet. Join us for the first real race of the season. The first official race of the season. And the way the cars will line up in that race is the reverse order of their finishing order in this endurance race. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me, and look forward to seeing you next time.